Hi, my name's Phil. I like to talk about politics, and with the EU having formally agreed its own red lines for the upcoming Brexit talks with the UK coming next week, I'd like to discuss the issues arising from this. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, then please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So, as expected, the EU negotiating team will insist on the UK mirroring EU rules and regulations on competition, workplace rights and environmental protections. This was always expected as a measure to safeguard the integrity of the single market. And although beginning positions for negotiations are not where sides end up at the end, and of course Brexiteers are saying, oh yes, but that's just their starting position, they will move from it, these ones will be genuine red lines. For all the talk of the EU buckling, at no point, at any point in the last few years, has any industry in non-UK countries ever put pressure on their political leaders to make concessions in these areas. They understand that they will lose more by weakening the single market than they do in lost business due to Brexit. And if industry are not putting any pressure on EU politicians to find a way around it, then there is no pressure to do so, and therefore no probability that it will happen. Sometimes if there is pressure, a fudge is, sometimes someone comes up with one in order to allow both sides to seemingly get mutually exclusive things, which can then allow the general members of the public to think that their respective leaders have got what they wanted. But as I say, there is no pressure to do that. On the UK side, Boris Johnson has naturally said that there will be no alignment with these standards. Never mind that he keeps saying that he wants to boost worker rights and environmental standards to the public, he says the opposite when discussing the Brexit talks. He also insists that the transition period will end on the 31st of December 2020. The government say that they are prioritising sovereignty over trade. In other words, we'd rather be poor but make up our own rules. Of course, this is a complete fallacy. A country in the world order in this regard is no different to a person within society. And who are the rule makers in society? The rich and powerful or the poor and isolated? As a member of the EU, the UK shaped EU laws. We created or supported 98% of them. And those that we didn't, well, we tended to either fudge or simply not implement. What people forget is that we do not actually implement all EU laws. We should, but we don't. Why? Because we were powerful enough to get away with some pretty poor behaviour and make our own rules. Within certain boundaries, there were limits. This will not continue outside of the EU. And our laws will not just be decided in Brussels, but also Washington, Tokyo and Beijing. Just as when Britain was being invaded by everyone hundreds of years ago and we developed into a mishmash of the cultures of Europe, so Brexit Britain will adopt a similar mashing together of laws from the most powerful economies in the world once we realise the importance of trade and international relationships. In addition, the terms stipulate that the UK would face swift sanctions for any breach of the rules. So the EU's position is that the UK is not going to gain a competitive advantage from Brexit. That is the bottom line, as we said all along. But there was one position up for debate. There was some in the EU that said that the deal could require that the UK mirror standards as they exist now, but that they wouldn't have to keep up with future changes that the EU may make in the future. The opposing view was that the UK should keep in step with the EU in order to maintain that level playing field, not just start out from it. And the latter view has taken hold at the urging of France. Now, I imagine on this particular occasion it was an easy argument to win. Ordinarily, the softer position might have been a possibility in genuine trade talks, but Johnson has made it clear time and again that he does not want to deal with the EU at all this year. Now, if I know that, the EU know that. As such, these talks are just a sham. For now, anyway. It wouldn't surprise me if the EU negotiators are approaching this as a warm-up for later. Let 2020 come and go, let Britain see for itself what they wouldn't believe of its experts, and then come back once they're struggling to get food, medicine, workers and trade deals. In the meantime, European leaders can focus on other matters instead of being worried by the constant distractions of Brexit. Germany's about to get a new leader, potentially the US too next year. There are also negotiations with the US and others to keep up with, which are more genuine talks. And those leaders could probably do with a bit of a break from Brexit. It's not like the UK government's going to come up with any serious proposals this year to concern them, We haven't even set out our own negotiating position literally days before the talks are due to start. I wonder if we even have one. I'm wondering if they wonder if we even have one. So anyway, that is the position at the moment. I suppose we'll have to wait until the talks start to find out more, because it's not looking like the UK government are going to publish their negotiating position, although I will keep you updated if they do. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, don't forget to click the like button, and if you'd like to support the channel further, then please also click the Patreon link for details. And until next time, I'll see you later.